You're watching No Spin. Tonight on the show, the Yogi Adityanath government in Uttar Pradesh has triggered a storm by placing Muslim religious institutions under the scanner. First it was Madrasas, Muslim religious seminaries, and now Waqf land owned or controlled by Muslim religious charitable bodies. The UP government has pushed back against this firestorm of criticism that this is scrutiny only of Muslim organizations and it's not religious profiling, they claim. They say UP has about 16,000 private madrasas and the UP government says their focus is on unrecognized private madrasas. The aim of the exercise, they say, is to gather data to modernize these institutions, but also warn that action will be taken against all those engaged in illegal activities without defining what those illegal actions are.
मदरसों पर जो सर्वे हो रहा है, हम सभी संस्थाओं में उत्तर प्रदेश में हर स्थिति में कानून का राज कायम करेंगे। कहीं भी अराजक या असामाजिक या गैर कानूनी गतिविधियां नहीं होने की इजाजत है और सर्वे से किसी को डरना नहीं चाहिए। यदि गैर कानूनी नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं होगा, अगर गैर कानूनी है तो कार्रवाई होगी।
But what has sparked this survey? Why only madrasas? And what's the objective of it? The lack of clear answers to these questions has only deepened suspicions that this is communal signaling. Madrasas have long been portrayed in the Hindutva/BJP narrative as hubs of extremism. UP's actions mirror a spike in similar actions singling out madrasas and Muslim clerics for scrutiny in other BJP-run states like Assam. Maryam Alavi travelled to western Uttar Pradesh to separate the government's claims from ground reality.
Deepened in western UP, about 3 hours north of Delhi, a major hub of Islamic learning. Here at the Darul Uloom Ashrafia Madrasa, a special lecture is underway on Islamic law.
और जिस मुल्क में हम रह रहे हैं, इस मुल्क में रहकर हम मुल्क के मुसलमानों ही को नहीं बल्कि हर हिंदुस्तानी को सही जिंदगी की राह गुजारने का तरीक़ाकार बता सकते।
It's been around since 2015 and has about 150 students between the ages of 15 and 25 years when the surveyors from the UP government came in.
यूपी सरकार ने बोला था कि सारे मदरसों की एक सर्वे होगी, यहाँ पे भी हो गई है वो सर्वे?
हमारे यहाँ मीडिया का भी सर्वे हो गया है, यानी सबसे पहले मीडिया ही ने सर्वे किया और उसके बाद हमारे देवबंद के जो एसडीएम साहब हैं दीपक कुमार जी, वो अपनी पूरी नज़्म इंतज़ाम के साथ यहाँ आए और बहुत इत्मीनान बख्श तकरीबन 1-1.25 घंटा वो हमारे इदारे में रहे, हर चीज़ का जायज़ा लिया, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को देखा, तालीमी सिस्टम को देखा, सफाई को देखा, पूरा खाने पीने का जो हमारा मेस सिस्टम है उसको देखा और इंतहाई मुतमईन होकर के गए।
In their claims, the UP government says that their survey of thousands of madrasas in the state is not communal. They're only trying to modernize them and look for any illegal activity. But NDTV has accessed the list of 12 questions that the government has been posing to these madrasas. Most of them pertain to very routine details like when was the madrasa established or how many students study there, etc. The only question that can even remotely be seen as probing any illegality is that of the source of funding.
हमने कहा किसी और एनजीओ से हमारा कोई लिंक नहीं है, हमारी खुद पर्सनल संस्था है इकरा यूनिवर्सल वेलफेयर ट्रस्ट, उसी की निगरानी में ये इदारा चल रहा है। किसी बड़े आदमी के हवारी मवाली यानी तलवे चाटने वाले गंदे जहन के लोग हो जाते हैं ना, तो हाकिम के जहन को खराब कर देते हैं। हालांकि इस मुल्क का लुटा पिटा मुसलमान अपने मजहब पर, इंसानियत पर इतना कुर्बानी देने वाला है। उम्मुल मदारिस दारुल का बजट तकरीबन 40 करोड़ रुपए है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद उन सब की आमदनी का जरिया यही गरीब लुटे पिटे मुसलमानों का दान है। और मैंने एसडीएम साहब से कहा
तो आपका भी सोर्सेज यही है, डोनेशन
यही 10 रुपए, 50 रुपए, 500 रुपए, 1000 रुपए, जो हमारे हम कहीं गए जरा लच्छेदार और बढ़िया तकरीर कर दी तो सामने वाला बजाय 1000 के 2000 दे देता। समझ रहे हैं आप?
As far as modern education is concerned, students say the instruction here is not only religious.
مدرسے کے اندر بہت سے سبجیکٹس ہیں جن سبجیکٹس میں سے ہمارے جو اسلامک لا ہے، دینی مذہبی کتابیں ہیں، اور اسی کے ساتھ ساتھ ہماری جنرل نالج کی کتابیں، ہندی، انگلش، میتھس، کمپیوٹرز اور انجینئرنگ کی کتابیں، یہ سب ہمارے کورس میں نصاب میں داخل ہوتا ہے۔
Close by is the Jamia Sheikhul Madrasa that started in 2018 and teaches some 25 to 30 younger children. Here too, officials had visited last week for a survey with the same questions on registration and funding.
यहाँ पे भी जो यूपी सरकार अब एक सर्वे कर रही है मदरसों की, यहाँ पे भी एक सर्वे हुआ था?
बिल्कुल, यहाँ भी एसडीएम साहब और दूसरे अधिकारी जो है यहाँ सर्वे के लिए आए थे, और आने के बाद में जो उनकी एक लिस्ट थी उसके बारे में उन्होंने पूछा, जो उन्होंने पूछा हमने जो है उसके बारे में उनको जवाब दिया।
अच्छा, ये कब आए थे?
ये तकरीबन आज से 8 दिन पहले एसडीएम साहब और दूसरे अधिकारी यहाँ पर आए थे।
तो उन्होंने आपसे क्या क्या पूछा?
देखिए, जैसे ही वो आने के बाद में हम उनको बैठाया, बैठाने के बाद में उन्होंने पूछा कि आप इदारे का नाम बताइए, मदरसे का नाम क्या है। हमने बताया कि मदरसे का नाम जामिया शेखुल हिंद है। पूछा कि जिम्मेदार का नाम क्या है, हमने जिम्मेदार का नाम बताया। नंबर मालूम किया, नंबर उनको बताया। उन्होंने पूछा कि जो है मदरसे की इनकम और सोर्स क्या है। हमने बतलाया कि जो हमारी आवाम है, जो मुसलमान हैं, साल भर में रमज़ान मुबारक के अंदर जो अपने पैसे की ज़कात निकालते हैं, 100 रुपये पे 2.5 रुपया वो निकालते हैं, तो उसी पैसे को हम जमा करते हैं और उसी पैसे को तलबा के खाने के ऊपर, उनके कपड़ों के ऊपर, उनकी तालीम के ऊपर, तमाम चीज़ों के ऊपर वही खर्च किया जाता है। कोई और संस्था ऐसी है कि जो मदरसे को चला रही है, तो हमारा किसी संस्था से कोई ताल्लुक़ नहीं है, कोई संस्था हमारे इदारे को नहीं चला रही, तो जो था वो हमने उनके सामने रखा। देखिए, ये बहुत ही अच्छा हुआ, क्योंकि सर्वे तो मैं समझता हूँ कि हर साल ही सर्वे होते थे। पहले LIU इंटेलिजेंस के ज़रिए से सर्वे हुआ करते थे, वो खामोशी के साथ में सर्वे हो जाते थे, उसका कोई हाय हुल्ला या शोर शराबा नहीं होता था, सर्वे उस वक्त भी होते थे। लेकिन इस वक्त में यूपी सरकार ने एक शोर शराबे के साथ में, एक हाय हुल्ला के साथ में सर्वे कराया है, ताकि जो है दूसरे मजहबी भाई ये समझे कि देखिए कि क्या हो रहा है पूरे मुल्क के अंदर।
We asked local officials what was the basis of the survey. Why focus only on madrasas? Why not look at other religious institutions run by people of other faiths? What was it that they hoped to achieve by this survey? The answers were unclear.
मदरसे का ही सर्वे क्यों हो रहा है, दूसरे धर्म के या दूसरे इसके कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट्स का क्यों नहीं हो रहा है?
हमारे लेवल का तो खैर ये आंसर नहीं है जिसका मैं आंसर दे सकता हूँ। अब हमें तो जो काम सौंपे जाते हैं उसका हम लोगों को करना है। तो जितनी जानकारी हमारे पास है वो मैं फ़िलहाल आपको अवेलेबल करा दिया हूँ। इसके अतिरिक्त और कोई जानकारी मेरे पास फ़िलहाल अभी नहीं है। अगर कुछ और जानकारी आती है तो मैं आपसे फिर शेयर करूंगा।
जो आप डिप्टी CM जी भी है, ब्रजेश पाठक जी ने भी बोला था कि जो कोऑपरेट करेंगे उनके वेलफेयर के लिए हम काम करेंगे, लेकिन अगर कोई इलीगल काम करते हैं, इलीगल एक्टिविटीज़ में इन्वॉल्व हैं, तो उनके खिलाफ सख्त कार्रवाई होगी। लेकिन इस सर्वे में जो 12 बिंदु हैं उसमें से तो कुछ इलीगल एक्टिविटी तो निकल के नहीं आएगी। तो वो भी क्या देख रहे हैं कि आप मदरसे में क्या हो रहा है, एक्टिविटीज़ क्या हो रहे हैं, वो भी देख रहे हैं अलग से?
फिलहाल अभी तो इस तरह की कोई जो 35 मदरसे किए गए हैं उसमें इस तरह का फिलहाल कोई ऐसा तथ्य चिन्हित नहीं हुआ है। अदरवाइज़ अगर कोई भी जो कमेटी जा रही है, अगर उसको किसी इस तरह का कोई भी तथ्य मिलेगा तो वो अपने रिपोर्ट में कंपाइल करेगी, और जब फिलहाल रिपोर्ट जब हम लोग के पास आ जाएगी तब हम लोग कुछ कह पाने की स्थिति में होंगे।
जो व्यक्ति, जो मनुष्य शास्त्र को छोड़ देगा।
No proof of wrongdoing, says the government, but the surveys and the accompanying rhetoric have caused concern here of religious targeting.
अगर ये स्टेटमेंट हमारे यूपी में बसने वाली तमाम कम्युनिटीज और तमाम इदारों के लिए है तो मोस्ट वेलकम हम इसका इस्तेमाल करते हैं। इसलिए कि इस तरह के स्टेटमेंट से और गवर्नमेंट के इस तरह की सख्त कानूनों से वो जो स्टेट होगा वो तरक्की की राहों पर जाएगा। लेकिन अगर आप कहें नहीं साहब हम आप ही को ठोकेंगे, आप ही को बजाएंगे, एक ही कम्युनिटी को बजाएंगे, तो इस स्टेटमेंट का कोई हासिल नहीं है और तुम्हारे ठुकने से कोई ठुकने वाला
है नहीं।
ध्यान नहीं।
With camera person Pooja Arya, this is Mariam Alavi for NDTV.
All right, let me go across to panel, starting with Asaduddin Owaisi, who's a Lok Sabha Member of Parliament, AIMIM. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Owaisi, for joining us. So, as we found there in our ground report, it doesn't seem to be very clear what is the basis for the probe of these madrasas, what is the expectation, what they hope to gain from it. What do you think is going on here?
Well, I have to tell you something over here that some recently, 2-3 days ago, a report had come that some Muslim intellectuals had met the RSS chief.
Yes.
In that meeting, I am told by one of the close relatives of this person who met, was part of the group who met the RSS chief, that 3 things which they discussed, the RSS chief discussed with them was: 1, they had a problem with the word kafir. Secondly, was reduction in the number of madrasas. And third, Indian Muslims need to show their Bharatiyata. Now, let us join this point number 2 and 3. That is, reduction in number of madrasas, Indian Muslims need to show their Bharatiyata. Now, this is part of that whole conspiracy or whole planning that the BJP and RSS wants to control the madrasas. They want to bring down the number of madrasas. And I challenge these so-called intellectuals from Delhi who went and met the RSS chief to talk about this issue.
Right.
About it. And you rightly point out, madrasas. Why do you need to probe into madrasas only? These are madrasas which are not taking any financial support from the state government. You are doing them to control the madrasas, and after this so-called survey is done, the UP government will give guidelines, and it will be impossible for these madrasas to follow those guidelines. And thirdly, why isn't the UP government telling us the National Commission for Child Rights, where is that letter? Please show us the letter on the basis of which you're doing this survey. That letter is not to be seen.
Okay, but one thing I wanted to ask you though is that the Deepened, the Darul Uloom, which as you know is this big, of course, religious center in Western UP, they have said we welcome it. We are opening, we should open our doors to this.
Well, I cannot speak for that organization. It is definitely a prestigious and oldest organization. But as far as my opinion is concerned, this is nothing but targeting of Muslims in the name of survey of madrasas. And I had told at that time that this will not stop. Now we see that a new survey is being done for the Waqf properties. So this is continuous targeting of Muslim community. And in your preliminary points, you had talked about the Assam issue. Now please tell me, why is a survey or this targeting of madrasa is done in Assam? In UP it was said that National Commission on Child Rights said. What about in Assam? So this is the whole game plan of the BJP and the RSS to control madrasas, to bring down the numbers.
The argument that the government is making, I mean, apart from this question of illegality, the argument that they're making is that this is an attempt to modernize madrasas, that we want to bring them into the mainstream so children can learn not just religious instruction, but also so-called secular instruction.
Well, what
doctors, engineers, that kind of thing.
No. Why are the madrasas formed? The madrasas are formed so that one becomes a Maulvi or a Maulana or a Mufti or becomes a memorizer of Quran, that is called Hafiz. That is the primary work or the paramount work of the madrasas. Now, if some madrasa people, day before yesterday, a news item was shown that they had went and cracked the NEET exam. But who is the government to tell us that you should become engineers or you should become lawyers? If they become fine, but the primary work of madrasas is to make them a theological scholar. Now, the point is, in last 5 years, this UP government has paid only 5 months' salaries to the teachers who are teaching English, maths, and science. Why are you not giving them salary? Secondly, why are you not including more madrasas in your UP madrasa board? Because you don't have funds. That is why this whole survey raises lot of suspicion. And people who suspect motives they are right, completely right.
Okay, I'll also just at some point I have to open this up to panel, but so you're saying that this is all a pretext to single out just the Muslim community, but this suggestion that madrasas also become hubs of extremism, like in Assam, for example, the state government there says that they've arrested a number of people with supposedly terror links who also are linked to madrasas.
Well, to answer that allegation, in the Ajmer, Khaja Ajmeri Dargah bomb blast case, 2 RSS workers have been convicted.
Okay.
So will you ban RSS? Come on, I want to know. And when they were given remission, when they got bail from the High Court, they were given a great grand welcome in Gujarat. So how is it, even if they're arrested, what right does the Assam Chief Minister have to demolish the whole Madrasa?
Okay.
Which stood there for many years.
All right. Asad Owaisi, do see if you can stay as I open it up to panel. Always would be good to have you stay on. Lalita Kumaramangalam of the BJP is with us. Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer, is with us. Zakia Soman, activist and member of Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan. Lalita Kumaramangalam, this is the question that always comes up in a situation like this. There's a sort of bad faith aspect to what the state government does when it singles out religious institutions only of Muslims, only Waqf, only Madrasas, and as our report found, there's no, from the state government or from the ground, there's no clarity on why only these organizations.
Okay, with regard to the Waqf, since you brought it up, let me say that after what happened in Tirchandarur in Tamil Nadu, where I think about 16 villages were just claimed by the Waqf, and when a villager called Rajagopal went to sell, I think just about 1.5 or 2 acres of land, he was told that the land doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the Waqf.
That's Tamil Nadu,
and there was
right,
a huge furor. No, but Tamil Nadu is India, Vasu. It's still a part of the same country. After that, there was a huge outcry, and well, the state unfortunately didn't step in till there was a lot of things.
No,
but if you want to leave that out of this discussion, there is a lot of allegations there are an enormous number of allegations made, I think even by some Muslims who claim that the Waqf board in many places is unfairly taking over land illegal. That is why the action against the Waqf may have started.
No, hold on. That's an allegation against all religious organizations, right? There are allegations of temples encroaching, there are allegations of
yes, so when temples encroach, there has been action that's taken. And don't forget, in Tamil Nadu, temples are actually controlled by the Hindu Religious Endowment Board.
No, where is any BJP state government? All right, when you say action has been taken. Okay, yeah. When you say action
has been taken against several
when you say action,
including there is actually a case.
Okay, has there been any
since you asked a question.
Okay, has there been any statewide survey?
The Tamil Nadu government and the Chidambaram temple are now, there is a case.
Okay, but has there been any? No, but I'm talking of Uttar Pradesh.
I'm not claiming any sort of victimization here. I'm just answering giving the reasoning for what you claim
but we're talking about, hold on, we're talking about, you're not letting me speak. We're talking about Uttar Pradesh.
You're not letting me speak. Why am I here?
I'm trying to ask where in any of these BJP-run states where they're surveying madrasas and Waqf and clerics, where has any such survey been ordered of other religious organizations? Because as we know, this is a chronic problem in India that religious organizations routinely abuse that privilege. They encroach land, they create unauthorized structures, etc., as well as occasionally you will find extremism amongst all religious organizations. Just look at what happened in that Haridwar hate Sansad, which we were just showing pictures of. Look at the kind of comments that were made there. One Swami says, I would have become Nathuram Godse and shot Manmohan Singh 6 times in the chest. Another Swami said, all those democratic governments in Delhi will have to listen to our demands for a Hindu Rashtra, otherwise we'll wage a war far scarier than the 1857 revolt. Now, was any survey ordered of Hindu religious organizations or even the very ashrams that these gentlemen run? As a result, no. That's the problem.
I just said it earlier that in especially Tamil Nadu, Andhra, I don't know in how many other states in India, temples are actually controlled by the government. The Hindu Religious Endowment Board is not a private organization. It is a government's, everybody on it is even nominated by the government. So, to say that Hindu temples are not taken to task is, a counterproductive argument itself, because individuals do not control those temples. They are controlled by the government. If the government is not overseeing those temples and seeing that they are not doing
Waqf
anything
is also
wrong,
state run. One second, Waqf, the Waqf is a state, is also state.
Yes,
these are Waqf boards constituted by the government. So I don't understand
who controls you makes a difference. You're forgetting that the Waqf law of 1995 actually says that any land that is claimed by the Waqf, and it's supposed to be for religious or charitable
let's just get
purposes.
Asad Owaisi to respond since he's still with us, and then I'll go to the rest of the panel.
To sell your land.
Okay, Asad Owaisi, how do you respond to this that temples are also, surveyed in other states or are brought under the scanner?
Well, the honorable leader from BJP should know that the Waqf board is constituted under a Parliament Act, number one. Secondly, it is a 95 Act in 2013. Thirdly, if any gazette is issued which says that it is a Waqf property, there is a procedure to it, madam. I cannot claim everything belongs to Waqf. A proper public notification is given by the state government. Anyone who has objection to a property being classified as Waqf, their objections are taken into account. And in the end, a gazette is issued by the state government. So the state is involved. What are you talking about?
Okay. Let me just bring in Yashovardhan Azad. Yashovardhan Azad, well, again, the point is not about cracking down on illegality or wrongdoing. Of course, that's what governments should do. That's the nature of that's the law of the land. It's the selective targeting and the lack of providing reasons. That's what we're trying to get to. When we try to ask for reasons, why did you do this survey? What prompted it? What was the apprehension? What are you hoping to achieve? What are these questions trying to get out of this? We don't get answers.
Apparently, there's a very noble reason, Vasu, to find out whether the taps are leaking or not, whether there is a proper washroom or not, whether toilets are clean or not. And I would certainly welcome it if it would be running across various schools, even the private schools, the non-madrasas, because across UP and Bihar, you have schools where the teachers don't teach but have their people on contract. The other payment to the teachers is excellent. So they live 10 villages away and they contract it out to somebody else who teaches in their name. Now the biggest problem with the education is primary education both in Bihar and Ye. So I would welcome it if it runs across all the schools. Secondly, as far as the madrasas goes, my friend Mr. Owaisi said very rightly, if all of them want to become theologists and all of them want to become, mullahs like pandits, it's fine. The government should not force them to become engineers or teachers. But I would certainly say one thing, that recognized, a government should always make effort to modernize education. And in that respect, if they make a gentle appeal to the madrasas, it would be extremely right thing.
Okay. Zakia Soman, what is do you believe this is a good faith exercise, or do you see in this an extension of the kind of singling out of minorities?
So, yes, I think it is hugely problematic because this exercise is not happening in a vacuum. There is a background. For a very long time now, madrasas have been demonized. We know how, they have been demonized in the media. They have been called all kinds of names. They have been called factories of hate, churning out radicals. So it's hugely problematic.
Okay.
And the truth is to the contrary. As per government figures, only 4% of the Muslim children go to madrasas for education. And we have found in our groundwork also, 9 out of 10 Muslim parents want to send their children to proper government schools. Modern education is what they seek for their children. But those opportunities are not sort of afforded to them.
Right.
There are, the government should be focusing on creating more and more schools in the Muslim mohallas, more and more schools for the girl children.
Right. Rather than I just need to give last word to Lalita Kumar Mangalam that the idea again is this single. If you're focused on education modernizing, why only single out madrasas? Then do a survey of all illegal schools, unauthorized, religious, not religious. Why the singling out?
Vasu, there is a problem with the lack of modernization in the madrasas with regard to education. I want to leave the religious aspect out of it. If Muslims want their children to become Maulvis, they have every right to ask them to be, and if the children want to be, so do they have every right to be. But it is true. But it is true that in the madrasas, apart from religious education, nothing is taught to children. And children, regardless of what their background may be, just regardless, should be also given at least a
But
basic
that's surely up to
education
the
which helps them
community.
to get ahead in life. No, how
Okay.
does it help the community if
No, I'm
they're,
saying that's up to
if
the,
their
like, just
Maulvis
like
are not-
if you in
I
a
don't think
dharamshala,
that's fair
you
to
teach
say.
Hindu religious instruction, or in a Christian seminary, you teach Christian religious instruction. It's surely up to each community what they teach in their
in
schools.
Christian seminaries, they don't teach only religious education. They don't give them knowledge only about the Bible. They teach them a lot of other
actually,
stuff,
even in
including
some of these
language, social
madrasas that we
sciences, etc.
visited, and I pointed that out in our report, that they
So the
also
survey will show
include
it.
secular teaching. The madrasas
Probably,
we
so the-
visited teach math,
It's-
they teach English, they teach quote unquote
Vasu,
secular subjects.
nobody has said that they don't teach other things, but there are
You
madrasas
just
which
did.
don't.
Okay.
No, I
all
said
right.
many madrasas don't. Maybe some do. I'm
All
not
right.
an expert on what madrasas teach or not. Zakia knows much more than me. But the problem here is that many don't. So
Okay,
in
all
good
right.
faith, if we take it in good faith
Well,
that
let's
they
see. Okay.
are surveying them to see that the children there get a chance to get a broader education.
Well,
What's wrong
there
with
may
that?
be, okay, all right. If that's the concern, there may be other ways to do it than just only single out certain religions and their institutions. But we are out of time. Thank you both, thank you all rather so much for joining us. That's all the time we have. Good night.